Ooh. Hello, 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 my beautiful peaches. Welcome to my channel, Life with Zafira, and it's me, your host, Zafira. I mean, you're probably like, duh. It's you, it is your channel. It's just something I do before videos. So you're probably wondering what in the world do I have you here today? Well, I want to introduce you to some pets that I have that I don't think I've introduced you to before. I mean, y'all seen my dogs and my cats. So let me show you the new ones. I'll probably bring you in closer, but I just wanted to bring them here so y'all can see them a little bit better. But these are my jumping spiders. I got one in each one, of course. In this big terrarium, we have Salt, and in this little terrarium, we have Pepper. From what I can tell, they are both girls, and they are either a fence post jumping spider or a tan jumping spider. I'm not quite sure which one. Google says they could be either or, but I know that they are a type of jumping spider. They are really fast compared to like the bold jumping spiders that the other ones that I have experience with. But honestly, it's been so awesome having them. So let me kind of bring y'all in a little bit closer so I can show y'all their terrarium a little bit more and kind of talk about how I came across them. So, give me 1 second. Well, okay. So I brought y'all down a little bit. May have to pick y'all up a little bit more, but who knows? We'll see. So this is the little light that I use for them. You know, has 3 different settings, and of course it turns off. Since it is kind of still the morning, I don't have it super bright. Usually what I also do is I will open the window a little bit. I don't put them in direct sunlight. I just open the window a bit so that the green stuff that they have growing in there, like the little moss and stuff like that, the vines, can get some natural light. And so they can kind of get some natural light too, but nowhere it gets too hot for them. I don't want to cook them alive in there. It's terrible. Okay. So with these fence post jumping spiders or town spiders, whichever they may be, we see them everywhere outside where we live. Not gonna lie, these and the bold jumping spiders or the regal jumping spiders. I'm not quite sure of the name. I am just learning about spiders myself since it's always been kind of a dream of mine to own a jumping spider ever since I've seen how cute they are. In this big one, I've actually had 2 other spiders that have lived in it, but they had sadly reached their time. They did seem a little bit older and slower when I did catch them, so I kind of figured they were in their older age. I did try to do everything safe, but like I said, they just reached their time. I've yet to see one molt. I'm hoping that maybe one day either one of these will molt. If not, maybe when I do have a chance to do another bold jumping spider, I'll be able to see that. But with these beautiful babies, they make hammocks for where they need to sleep. I know other spiders do make hammocks, and I believe some don't. But it is kind of interesting. They kind of make like a little cocoon. Let me see if I can show you. So right there in the corner, you can see one of her little hammocks. And that's what she sleeps in. She does have another one back here, but it's not quite as thick. I actually think she tore that one up. And you can see moving inside of there are wingless fruit flies. Those are their favorite things to eat besides the moths. But yeah, this is Pepper. And it's kind of cute. About 2 months ago, when I had a bold jumping spider before he passed, she actually was hanging out on my little lap desk thing that I have that I use for diamond art. She was inside of it and she would not get off of it. And so when she realized that I was a friend, she got on me and wouldn't get off of me. No matter what I tried to put her down somewhere nicer with bugs. I tried to, do different things, but she didn't want to go anywhere. And so I made her a little house out of a Tupperware, put some holes in there. It was temporary. And so then I ordered this acrylic housing enclosure for her. And at first, I didn't want to get acrylic just because I've heard that they scratch easy. But honestly, this has some minor scratches. But honestly, it's been doing the job just fine. She loves it in there. And, yeah, I've had her since. She's probably the longest jumping spider that I've had yet. Because like I said, I have just started out. I was mainly catching the slower ones, the ones that, were in the geriatric stage. I'm not quite sure on the names of the stages, but yeah. So she found me, Pepper found me. Now, I'm assuming that they're girls because based off the research that I did, they both show to be girls. But yeah, she found me. Now, Salt over here, let me go ahead and show you her enclosure. Her enclosure is a little bit dirtier compared to the other one. But here it is. You can probably see her hammocks in the corner. There she is, actually. If it'll focus on her. Maybe. But yeah, this is her enclosure. I absolutely love this one. I love the little mushroom houses that I got. This is definitely a bigger one. The only thing about this enclosure is it has a little bit of a gap here and then a little bit of a gap here. But other than that, it's great. She loves it. She's constantly exploring, doing all the things that she needs to do. They are definitely a different type of hunters. They are quick, like normal jumping spiders are. But they hunt a little bit different. They can see a little bit better. And, yeah. Honestly, I have them sitting here throughout the days just so I can watch them, because I love watching them crawl around. I love watching them hunt. I get them wingless fruit flies. I get Josh's wingless fruit flies. Those seem to be what they prefer just because they are bigger flies, so they get more protein out of them because they are pretty juicy. I've accidentally squeezed a few and ugh. What I have noticed with the bold jumping spiders, they do prefer like worms and stuff like that. When I had them, I would order mealworms from Chewy. I also got the wingless fruit flies from Chewy as well because I do love Chewy. They are very good with their stuff. But yeah, I would get mealworms, and the bold jumping spider that I had went to town. He loved them. He just ate and ate and ate. I gave him a good life before he passed away. The very, very first jumping spider that I found, when I found him, he was very skinny. So I think I didn't find him in time. I did try to give him water. I did try to feed him. but I guess it was just too late, and I think the stress of me catching him may have been too much. And of course, every spider, the two that have passed away that I've had have made me sad. It has made me very, very sad because I'd grown attached to them pretty quickly. So, yeah. But these two gals have definitely been pretty entertaining for me. I love them. They don't really get out of their enclosure. They don't seem to have much interest in jumping on me, especially since after Pepper found me and I put her in here, that's where she prefers to be. I have left the enclosure doors open for, long periods of time while I clean it or put some more bugs in there, spray some water and stuff like that. They don't care to even leave. I did have a bull jumping spider male that did want to leave, but it was because they need to mate. From the research that I've done, male jumping spiders don't live as long as females do because they need to mate. If they don't mate, they pass away. But even if they do mate, they pass away pretty quickly, or fairly quickly than females do. And from what I can see, like videos and stuff like that of different types of jumping spiders, females seem to be the one that are like more social, not super scared, or more curious. I mean, males are too, but not as much as females jumping spiders that I've seen. I may eventually get another enclosure for her, just like a medium-sized one, just so she can have a I don't want the light to be too close to him. It doesn't give off heat, so it's not hurting them. I just don't like it to be like super close to their enclosure. But yeah, this has been so entertaining to experience. I wish these gals did prefer mealworms, I'm not gonna lie. Let me show you the packaging for the wingless fruit flies. Okay. So inside of here is a ton of wingless fruit flies. They last about 28 days. After 28 days, you are supposed to discard it because they turn into mites or they can turn into maggots, and that's not good. I mean, your jumping spider can eat maggots, because mine have, but it's just not good when they're gone bad. It could be bad for them. But yeah, and here is a ton of them. When I first get this package, they are just the larvae, so they're just worms. These gals don't want the worms. They want the flies. So it is very stressful getting them out of here to put them inside of there. So the trick that I have learned is you can stick them in the fridge for a couple of minutes. I would say like 2 to 5 minutes, nothing longer than that, because it is detrimental to them to be very, very cold. So if you put them in there for a few minutes, that will actually calm them down so you can get quite a few in there. You can do the freezer, but only for 20 seconds. Anything more than that is really bad for them. But I do that to calm them down, and what I do is I will kind of tap the top of it to make them lose their grip and make them fall down. And so I'll tip it over into a Tupperware and pour some in each one. Now, I know that you notice that there are holes, like here, and then the vents over here. Here, I have no issues with the wingless fruit flies. Over here, I kind of have some trouble because they have a way to exit here, and then the back, and on the side. I have put some things to keep that from happening, but what happens is it messes with the ventilation, and it starts to get a little too hot in there, a little too humid. So I've kind of dealt with it, honestly, maybe 1 or two try to escape, but other than that, they kind of just chill out there. And honestly, I have so many jumping spiders around my house and inside here that if they were to escape, they're just gonna get eaten. You know, there's spiders all over this place, which honestly doesn't bother me. But yeah, this has definitely been an adventure. I know with some jumping spider enclosures, some people have like little water things that they can drink from. I think I have one. Yeah, like this. Some people have like little water bowls, fountains in their enclosure for the spider to drink from. I did have this in there, but nobody seemed very interested in using it. So it seemed that they preferred to get water that was sprayed on the side of their enclosures. So I took this out. It also has a little bowl in it, but nobody cared to use it. I might try it with one of these gals, maybe this one, to see if she might like it to hide in, because there is a little hidey hole inside there if they don't want to eat from here. So we'll see. I get them. What type of water is it again? So the type of water that I give them is distilled water. And what I do is I put it inside this little spray bottle, and it gives off a very fine little mist. I don't know if you can see that. That way it doesn't give off huge droplets. If you put too much water or too big of droplets, it will cause them to drown. I'm not sure how accurate this is, but they say that a spider's lungs are at the bottom of their body, so it can cause issues if there's too much water underneath them. So what I'll do is I'll spray once in the morning and then once in the afternoon, because it does stay fairly moist in there, or wet. Inside at the bottom, I did put some potting soil, but I made sure that it didn't include certain things in there, because not all potting soil is safe. So before you go and put potting soil in there, make sure you Google and make sure it doesn't include what is bad for them. I'll include it here, what it needs and what it doesn't need. That way you know for sure. And also inside of here and in the other one, I have some springtails. That is a cleanup crew for the spider enclosure. I don't see them very often in this one, but they are super active in this one. As soon as I spray the sides for water or the soil and stuff like that, they just go ballistic. They start coming out, getting water, just being all over the place, and it's not something I am used to seeing. They are very interesting to watch. But yeah, they love that enclosure. Love that enclosure. They really hide in this one. Maybe I just need to put some more water in there. Maybe they want some more on their soil. May end up doing that at some point. Maybe after it dries a little bit more. From what I've seen, you don't necessarily have to put any type of substrate in there to keep it humid. There are other ways you can keep the enclosure humid. I've seen some people where it looks just like a little apartment, like a little enclosure apartment that some people have built. So cute. Like they have little carpets, they have little bridges, they have little ladders. It's super adorable. I have thought about doing that, but I feel like this way kind of gives them a piece of outside, so that way they can either dig through the dirt, they can climb the little vines, they can go through the little moss. Like I don't know, I feel like it's better for their little enclosures like this. They can be pretty lazy. There are times that they spend like all day in their hammocks and then eventually come out before it's time to turn off their lights. I do try to keep a good light cycle, like 12 hours light, 12 hours no light. I do try to follow that so that way they can get adequate light at nighttime. I do keep them in a well ventilated place, and I do avoid burning incense or candles or anything like that in the same room, as well as mopping. When it comes to mopping, because I do use Fabuloso, and I know that smell can be pretty strong, I will move them to a room that I either am not going to do or it had already been done and it's been well aired out. Then I will move them in there and then do the other rooms, and they will stay in there until it's well aired out. As you can see, I do have cats. I have 2 cats. They do have interest in playing with spiders, but thankfully they haven't had no interest with messing with my enclosures. I was really worried about one of my cats doing that. Thankfully, he has not done that. He's a pain. Such a pain. Hopefully one of these days I will be able to own another bull jumping spider, just because they're bigger and they seem more fluffier. I'm not saying these girls are not fluffy. They are definitely unique. Like their little pincers or whatever they call, they look like little bottle cleaners. It's super cute. I will see if I can get a really good close-up picture of them so I can show y'all some pictures of them at the end. There are times that I will catch them, since they do hang out over here, I will catch them watching me. And sometimes I think, well, maybe they're just staring off into the distance, and I'll start moving and they'll follow me. Or if I am doing something above, like if I'm having to do something that I'm reaching over their enclosure, they will get close to watch me or to move along the side that I'm going. It is super funny. It's super cute. I love looking at their tiny little faces. They are so freaking adorable. And if you are scared of spiders like I was, honestly, every single spider that I saw, I killed, I smushed, I did away with, because no, I didn't do spiders. But when I came across TikTok pages, Facebook pages, and YouTube channels of people that had jumping spiders, and I saw the first close-up of a jumping spider, I fell in love. I was like, they are so stinking adorable. Look at their big old eyes. Look at their furry little body. Like, just look how cute they are. And I started doing research. Well, do they bite? Well, only if you corner them and they feel scared, but most of the time they don't. Sometimes they can take a bite out of you if they are curious and just want a bite, a taste, I guess. They will do that, but it doesn't hurt. It can like swell a little bit, like if it was a mosquito bite, but honestly, it's nothing that bad. And I looked up how difficult it is to take care of them. They are sensitive spiders. They are, but a lot of spiders are. So I would recommend doing as much research as you can to make sure that you kind of have a feel for what it could be like for you. And like I mentioned, you can get any enclosure that you want. If you want to do an acrylic one, you can do that. If you want to do a glass one, you can do that. Either one will work out fine. This one, it does open up from the top, but I have closed off the gap that's up here because I didn't want any of the wingless fruit flies to escape, or for Pepper to escape, because she was small enough to fit through that little gap when I first got her this. Like I said, same with that one. It does have a little bit of gaps, but nothing too crazy. But I love my girls. I love the fact that I finally get this chance to own some jumping spiders. There for a while, I was even given an idea of owning a tarantula, but apparently they can live pretty long. They can live pretty long. They can live up to like 20 years if you take care of them properly. I believe these type of jumping spiders don't live very long, unfortunately. From what I can tell, they can live anywhere from 6 months to maybe 3 years, but most of the time they live to be about a year and a half. So that kind of makes me sad. So I'm trying to take care of them as well as I can so I can have them live as long as they can. I'll probably continue to maybe just catch the spiders because it is interesting to find one, catch them, and watch their little personality turn into being a enclosure spider. Some take to it really well. Some are just like, I don't like it in here. Let me out. But once they see all the food that I have to provide for them, they're like, hey, yeah, I like this place. It's nice. It's super adorable. Super cute. But yeah, those are my spiders. Maybe one day I'll be owning 3. If I'm allowed to. I have seen on, I think it's like AliExpress or Temu, I don't remember, where they have 3 tiered jumping spider enclosures. Now they are kind of skinny like this, but they're as tall as that, which is nice because, you know, spiders do like to climb. So maybe I'll do that. But this enclosure I'm definitely gonna keep after I get a medium-sized one, mainly because if I catch a baby jumping spider, a smaller enclosure is better because, you know, their babies are just getting out and started, and maybe they'll be scared, and they can get lost if an enclosure is too big. It could be too stressful if an enclosure is way too big for a spider. But I'll keep this one for babies, or if these gals or future ones become too old where their little hands can no longer grip the walls when they're climbing, and that's a sign that they are getting older, this one will be used for that as well. But for now, these girls love their enclosures. They have definitely made a mess. Especially this one, she has gone a little crazy when it comes to making webbing and stuff like that inside of there, but it's fine. I do try to clean it out after, you know, each spider has used it. There was some webbing that was left over from the 2 spiders that previously lived in here, and honestly, she loved it because she was able to use it and walk and all that stuff. Here, let me see if I can show you this one more time because she is inside of her hammock as well. It's right there. But okay, my peaches. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with me while I showed y'all my spiders. Hopefully it wasn't too boring. Hopefully y'all learned something new. Hopefully I didn't go off track like I sometimes do. I start talking and then I forget what I'm saying and then I move on to something else. Maybe I should start writing down what I'm gonna say. My ADD brain just goes where it wants to go, and then I have to rein it back in, and if I don't rein it back in, it just turns into a cluster. But if you made it to this point of the video, go ahead and give it a like, a comment, go ahead and subscribe, and turn on that little bell to be notified of any future videos that I post, because maybe I have try-ons coming soon. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Do I know? I know. But do you know? But alright, my peaches, thank y'all so much for being here. And I hope to see y'all again. Have a great rest of y'all's day. Okay, spiders. Time to put y'all back in y'all's little area. Mama's got work to do.